At a class reunion, 2 years after we broke up, my ex's best friend suddenly asked me, "Are you still into Ruonan?" I just smiled and shook my head. Then, flashing the ring on my finger, I told her I was already married. Her best friend sighed. "You should make time to see Ruonan. She's fading fast." Even her unforgettable first love was crying and begging me to see her one last time, because after I left, that once untouchable, aloof woman went practically insane. She kneels and kowtows 300 times a day, just begging for my forgiveness. Everyone said Zhang Ruonan was a cold, untouchable goddess. Back then, her ethereal, otherworldly vibe scared off all the other guys. I was the only one who stepped up to the challenge. I chased her relentlessly, and finally wore her down to become my girlfriend. But just 1 month before our wedding, she actually went behind my back to do IVF with her mentor's son. And the reason? Just to fulfill her mentor's dying wish of having a grandson. Faced with this ridiculous demand, I held it in for a long time, but finally, I couldn't hold back anymore. I cried and begged her, "Zhang Ruonan, we're getting married in a month, and you're going to have a baby with someone else. Don't you think this is insane?" But, facing my pleas, she just said flatly, "My mentor is critically ill. His biggest wish is to see Qing Qiyu happy and have a child of his own. He has no one else to turn to but me. Besides, it's just IVF. I won't have any physical relationship with him." After saying that, she turned and left without caring if I agreed. Watching her walk away, it suddenly hit me that all these years we've been together, I've always just been looking at her back, faced with her stubbornness. A sudden, reckless thought popped into my head. Since she treats this relationship and our marriage like it's nothing, let's just scrap the whole thing. With that in mind, I grabbed my phone and drafted a WeChat Moments post. After blocking Zhang Ruonan, I hit send. Getting married in a month. Now I want to change the bride. Any takers? People probably thought I was joking. Most of them were just leaving, teasing comments under the post. Just as I was feeling a bit down, a call came in. It was Li Xia. Seeing those three familiar characters, I froze for a second. Li Xia and I were childhood friends who grew up together. In school, she was the campus belle, and I was the campus beau. But we were total frenemies. It wasn't until we went to different colleges that we stopped crossing paths. Who would have thought that she'd be the first one to reach out to me now? When I answered, she didn't ask any questions. She cut straight to the chase. "Sang Yan, if you want to swap brides, how about considering me?" I wasn't entirely sure what her angle was, but I knew she was definitely the best candidate to swap in. We had similar backgrounds and knew each other inside out. After a long silence, I finally said, "Okay, what are your conditions?" "No conditions. Since we're getting married, change my contact name from Annoying Spirit to Wifey." I was a little surprised and double-checked. "Anything else? Whatever other couples have, I want it too." That request caught me even more off guard. I originally thought she was only doing this because her family was pushing her to get married. I gripped my phone tight. "Li Xia, if we do this, it's for real." She laughed on the other end. "I'm heading to Heicheng to pick you up right now. Let's discuss when to get the license and hold the wedding." I stayed silent for a moment, then told her to give me half a month so I could properly tie up loose ends. After hanging up, the first thing I did was change her contact name. Staring at the number now saved as Wifey, a bitter smile crept on my face. "Zhang Ruonan, since you hid the fact that you're having a baby with someone else, then I'll hide the fact that I'm swapping brides." For the next few days, Zhang Ruonan didn't come home. I didn't ask about it either. I just quietly contacted my friends, and took back all the wedding invitations I'd sent out. Back then she said she hated the hassle, so we didn't plan a big wedding anyway. We only invited a few close friends. Being suddenly told the wedding was off, and the invites were being recalled, my friends were all shocked. Why cancel, all of a sudden? Hasn't your relationship always been super stable? Hearing their questions, I only felt bitter. Stable relationship. Stable as in me, constantly chasing Zhang Ruonan, while she remains as cold as ever. Then yeah, it was extremely stable. The only stable thing in this relationship was me, not her. She was always like some high and mighty goddess, coldly watching me fall hopelessly in love with her. But now, I don't want to love her anymore. In the end, I didn't hide anything, and chose to confess that the bride had been swapped. As soon as I said that, there wasn't much shock. Mostly just friends, joking and teasing. Obviously, no one took me seriously. But, thinking about it, it made sense. I used to love Ruonan so much, never caring about her cold attitude. If someone else suddenly said they didn't want to get married, I probably wouldn't believe it either. But it's okay. I'll use facts to prove to everyone that, this time, I've truly given up. After recalling all the invitations, I hadn't been home long when Ruonan finally returned. She's always been aloof and a neat freak, but her white shirt was a bit wrinkled now. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she looked exhausted. I could tell at a glance she wasn't doing well. The first thing she said when she saw me, perfectly aligned with what I had just done. Those wedding invitations we sent out, take them all back. My mentor passed away. I need to mourn him for at least half a year. We can't get married. Ruonan thought I would throw a fit and argue with her. After all, getting married was something I'd been pushing for. She also knew that my grandpa had been waiting to see me tie the knot, so I was really anxious about it. She had even prepared her counter-arguments, but I just looked at her calmly. I understand. My condolences. Ruonan's heart skipped a beat. She inexplicably felt that, ever since that night, I had become a completely different person. Even though my attitude towards her was a bit weird, she didn't have the extra energy right now to figure out what was wrong. Massaging her tired brow, she spoke again. My mentor is having his memorial service today. He mentioned you before he passed. I'll take you to go see him. I didn't like Xiao Qingqiu, but I had nothing against Professor Xiao, that kind old mentor. I didn't mind going. Besides, he probably never imagined that his son would do something like finding a surrogate just to fulfill his dying wish, out of respect for the deceased. I nodded and agreed. After Ruonan freshened up and changed her clothes, she took me to Professor Xiao's funeral. Just as Ruonan and I arrived at the venue, we heard a crying voice. Ruonan. When I looked in the direction of the voice, I saw Xiao Qingqiu, dressed in plain clothes, collapse to the ground, his face covered in tears. Qingqiu. Ruonan was instantly alarmed and rushed over in 3 huge steps. She gently helped him into her arms. Without even looking up, she told me, "Go pay your respects first. I'm going to stay here and keep him company." Seeing her gentle, attentive, and worried expression, if someone didn't know the situation, they'd probably think Xiao Qingqiu was her boyfriend. If I had seen them looking this intimate in the past, I probably would have made a scene right then and there. But now, I just took one look and looked away. Without saying a word, I turned and walked straight toward the hall. It seemed she didn't expect me to be so straightforward. Ruonan looked up in surprise. A weird feeling washed over her again. But, the person in her arms just softly called out her name, and her attention was immediately pulled right back to him. She helped him to the side, comforting him gently. I respectfully finished paying my respects. After kowtowing 3 times to old Xiao, I walked over to the pale, elegant woman nearby. "My condolences, Mrs. Xiao." Mother Xiao looked up and nodded at my words. As a gesture of acknowledgement, "You must be Ruonan's boyfriend, right? Thank you for coming to see old Xiao. I heard you two were supposed to get married. She's a loyal and caring kid, offering to mourn her mentor for half a year. It must be so hard on you." I just listened quietly without saying anything, and I didn't mention Ruonan or the ridiculous things she was doing with her son. But Mother Xiao seemed to see my inner pain and couldn't help but sigh deeply. We pretty much watched Ruonan grow up. Old Xiao was her advisor, all the way from undergrad to her PhD, and she's someone who values relationships deeply, which is why she made this decision. Please, don't blame her. Now that I've even swapped the bride. Of course, I wouldn't blame her. I understand her, I replied. Seeing my understanding attitude, Mother Xiao spoke again, unable to hold back some of the things on her mind. And please don't mind Qingqiu. Even though Qingqiu clings to her all day, I can tell she doesn't see him that way. She really loves you. Hearing this, I stiffened a little. Likes me? I couldn't see it at all. Seeing my disbelief, Mother Xiao couldn't help but ramble on. Child, I'm not lying to you. Old Xiao and I used to always think that since she was always buried in her medical research, she would never fall for anyone. Until you showed up. Even though she didn't make a big show of it, she would always casually bring you up in front of us, saying she bumped into you somewhere yesterday, or what delicious food you cooked for her, or what silly things you did today to woo her. Even though it sounded like she was complaining, we all knew she was just in love without realizing it. Mother Xiao kept listing things one by one, talking about the care Zhang Ruonan had never shown in front of me. But hearing these words, I only felt the irony. Maybe the old me would have been thrilled to hear this. But right now, it just felt so ironic. If Zhang Ruonan really loved me, then why couldn't I feel it at all? Why was it always me chasing after her, while she never stopped to wait for me? If she loved me, how could she go have a baby with another guy? The moment she agreed to have a kid with Xiao Qingqiu, everything was beyond saving. We were already completely over. Throughout the entire memorial service, Zhang Ruonan stayed right by Xiao Qingqiu's side, until the service finally ended. It started raining outside, and the guests gradually left. Only then did she pull up in her car in front of me, throwing two emotionless words at me, "Get in." Just as I was about to step forward, the window slowly rolled down, and I realized Xiao Qingqiu was already sitting in the passenger seat. Even Mother Xiao was sitting in the back. Before I could even say a word, Xiao Qingqiu's choked-up voice drifted out. "Ruonan, I still want to go to the cemetery to see my dad. Just me, you and my mom, okay?" As soon as he said that, Mother Xiao frowned first. "Qingqiu, don't be like this." But those few simple words somehow hit Xiao Qingqiu's sore spot. He just started bawling out loud. "Today is my dad's funeral. Can't he just call a cab himself?" Mother Xiao was about to scold him again, but Zhang Ruonan had already made up her mind. "I'll come pick you up later." She turned to look at me, her voice leaving no room for argument. With that, she just started the car and sped off, left standing there all alone. I had already guessed this ending. The moment Xiao Qingqiu opened his mouth. Right now, there wasn't a trace of sadness on my face from being ditched. I just quietly waited there for a few hours. But she never showed. Seeing the rain getting heavier and heavier, I knew she wasn't coming. The funeral parlor was in the middle of nowhere, so it was impossible to catch a cab nearby. And I didn't have an umbrella, so I had no choice but to walk out into the pouring rain. The rain poured down harder, blurring my vision. I got soaked in the rain for 2 whole hours, before finally reaching a spot where I could hail a cab. As soon as I got home, I came down with a high fever. Zhang Ruonan still hadn't come back. I was delirious from the fever, feeling totally drained of energy. I didn't even have the strength to call an ambulance. I could only force myself to get up, find some fever meds, and wash them down with water. The meds didn't kick in right away. I crawled back into bed, feeling like I was burning up and totally miserable. I don't know how much time passed before I finally passed out in a daze. A whole day and night went by before my fever finally broke, and I finally heard the sound of the front door opening. Zhang Ruonan walked in from outside. She didn't even glance at me, and didn't say a single word about failing to pick me up. She just quietly started packing a bag. It wasn't until she was all packed that she threw me a pitying glance. "Qingqiu is in a really bad state. I'm going to stay with him for a few days. Call me if you need anything while you're home alone." Watching her rush out right after saying that, I laughed at myself. Would calling even do anything? I was standing right in front of her, looking pale as a ghost, and she didn't even notice I was sick. Could I really expect her to drop Xiao Qingqiu and come to me? Over the next few days, Zhang Ruonan unsurprisingly didn't come back, and she didn't call me once. But I knew exactly what she was up to. After all, she had someone by her side who loves oversharing his life. Xiao Qingqiu. Every single day, I could see from Xiao Qingqiu's WeChat moments exactly what they were doing, like her making porridge for him, or taking him out to relax and watch fireworks. I didn't pay too much attention to what they were doing. I just waited until I recovered, then went to the office and handed in my resignation. "Zhang Yan, why are you quitting all of a sudden? Did something happen?" Hearing the news, my coworkers were all super shocked. I just shook my head and explained, "I've been away for so many years. It's time I head back to my own hometown." This excuse only confused them more. Finally, someone couldn't help but ask, what about Dr. Zhang? Her family is right here in this city. If you move back to your hometown, won't you guys be doing long distance? I froze for a second. See, even my friends know how much I love Zhang Ruonan, loving her enough to give up everything and settle down in this unfamiliar city. Loving her so much that everyone subconsciously felt I was the only one who had to sacrifice for this relationship, and she took it all so much for granted, treating my sacrifices as a given, while giving all her patience and gentleness to someone else. Smiling, I shook my head. It's not long distance. We're just never going to see each other again. After handing over my work, I packed up all my stuff and carried my box back home. As soon as I walked in, I saw Zhang Ruonan and Xiao Qingqiu sitting in the living room. What's all this? Seeing me come back with a box, she asked instinctively. My tone was completely calm, and a lie rolled right off my tongue, without a single trace of panic on my face. The company is moving offices, so I brought my stuff back first. Where are they moving to? Zhang Ruonan frowned. I was just about to speak when Xiao Qingqiu cut me off. Sang Yan. Since my dad passed away recently, I've been a total mess. I've handled a lot of things poorly, even suggesting the idea of having a baby with Ruonan. Looking back, it was pretty ridiculous. But nothing ever happened between me and Ruonan. Now that my dad's gone, I don't need to have a kid anymore. I'm so sorry, please don't take it to heart. He put on this super pathetic look. If I hadn't received that highly provocative screenshot of their chat, I might have actually believed him. But right now, I wasn't in the mood to expose his little game. I just gave a nonchalant nod and took my box back to my room. As soon as I set my stuff down, I heard a phone ringing in the living room. That's when I remembered I left my phone out there. I was just about to go get it when the door suddenly pushed open. Zhang Ruonan walked in with a dark expression, holding my phone. She glared at me dead in the eye. Who is wifey in your phone? This was the first time I'd ever seen Zhang Ruonan make a face like that. For so many years, she's always been so chill and composed around me. I honestly thought she was incapable of getting jealous. I remember back when I was chasing her, I heard from someone that wooing someone requires tactics. Clinging to Zhang Ruonan every single day like I did makes them get used to you without realizing it. But over time it just gets annoying. So I learned to play hard to get. I deliberately didn't look for her for a few days, and even hung out with other girls in front of her, just to see if she'd get jealous. But back then, when she saw me standing with other girls, her face was completely unfazed. She just walked right past me like usual, not even sparing me a glance out of the corner of her eye. That's when I realized playing hard to get might work on others, but it definitely didn't work on Zhang Ruonan. After that, we went right back to our original dynamic, her walking in front, and me chasing from behind. In the blink of an eye, 6 years passed. Now, I finally get to see her look jealous. But it's too late. I took my phone back and was just about to explain, when Xiao Qingqiu's voice chimed in from behind her again. It's definitely a bro. Us guys label our bros as wifey all the time. Since Xiao Qingqiu already handed me an excuse, I couldn't be bothered to correct him. I didn't say another word. I just took my phone and went back to my room. Then, redialed the number. Li Xia, calling me out of nowhere right now. I thought it was something important, but the moment she spoke, all she asked about was trivial stuff. Have you eaten? It's been raining non-stop in Nanxing lately. How's the weather in Haisheng? Is it raining? I heard Haisheng is getting colder. Remember to stay warm and don't get sick. At first, I actually answered her questions one by one, waiting for her to get to the point. Who knew she'd just keep beating around the bush until I couldn't take it anymore and was about to hang up. What exactly do you want? If you're not gonna tell me, I'm hanging up. Hearing me say that, she finally stopped rambling about random nonsense. I just wanted to ask, do you regret it? Are you really swapping brides? You beat around the bush this long just to ask that. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. But Li Xia gave a very serious "hem," her voice carrying a barely noticeable hint of grievance. Didn't you really like your girlfriend? I was going to ask how she knew, but then I thought about it. From the first time I saw Zhang Ruonan in college, to my relentless daily pursuit, to the joy of finally succeeding in asking her out, and then deciding to get married and eventually swap brides. Over the years, my WeChat moments have practically revolved around Zhang Ruonan. I made my love for her totally public, wanting the whole world to know that Sang Yan deeply, deeply loved Zhang Ruonan. Given all that, it would be harder for them not to know. I shook my head, laughing at myself. The long silence made Li Xia's heart drop on the other end of the line, terrified that the next second she'd hear me say, "Yes, I still love her, so let's forget about swapping brides." But soon enough, she heard my answer. "I don't like her anymore." After a pause, I gave her some extra reassurance. "Relax, I agreed to swap brides and marry you, so I won't regret it because of her." We finally hung up. When I packed up my things and was about to head out, Xiao Qingqiu still hadn't left. He was in the living room, chatting with Zhang Ruonan about God knows what. Seeing me come out, her face still looked a bit sour. After hesitating for a long time, she still brought up that contact name. "Done chatting with your bro. In the future, don't use that kind of nickname for your bros." I gave her a surprised look, not expecting her to still be fixated on it. I nodded as an answer. Nobody knew if I was answering her first question, her second statement, or both. Zhang Ruonan just assumed I agreed, and her expression finally softened a bit, and this entire shift in her mood was taken in entirely by Xiao Qingqiu. In an instant, his face became quite a sight. Xiao Qingqiu didn't expect that Zhang Ruonan actually still felt possessive over me. After all, in his mind, she wasn't supposed to care about me at all. "It's still early," he said. "Zhang Yan Ruonan, let me treat you guys to dinner and a movie, as a thank you for putting up with me lately." Looking at his superficial smile, I could pretty much guess what Xiao Qingqiu's suggestion was really about. He just wanted to show off in front of me how well Zhang Ruonan treats him, how gentle and doting she is with him. Thinking of this, I shook my head. For one, I didn't want to play this childish game of tug-of-war with them anymore. Second, it was almost time for me to head home, and I had a ton of things to handle. But how could Xiao Qingqiu let this opportunity slip by? Seeing me shake my head, he put on a pathetic, wronged expression, and looked at Zhang Ruonan. "Ruonan, is Sang Yan still mad at me? I know I was acting spoiled a while ago, and did some ridiculous things. It's totally fair for him to be mad at me. It's all my fault." As he spoke, his eyes actually welled up with tears, making Zhang Ruonan's heart ache for him. The very next second, a disapproving glare was shot my way. I sighed, looking at the situation. If I stubbornly refused to go, Xiao Qingqiu would probably cry until he passed out, and, naturally, I'd become the unforgiving villain again. After all the back and forth, I was still dragged out the door with them. It was right around dinner time, so the three of us went to a restaurant to eat first. Xiao Qingqiu picked the place. It was a seafood restaurant. When we sat down in the private room, I took a deep look at Zhang Ruonan. She unnaturally avoided my gaze. But when she looked at Xiao Qingqiu ordering food, her eyes unconsciously filled with that doting look again. Of course, Zhang Ruonan felt guilty. After all, she clearly knew I'm allergic to seafood. But just because Xiao Qingqiu said this restaurant's seafood was really good, so she brought me to this restaurant. After the food arrived, unlike me with just a glass of water, Xiao Qingqiu was eating the seafood Zhang Ruonan peeled for him. He looked up at me, seeing me just drinking water. He looked confused. "Sang Yan, this seafood is seriously so good. Are you sure you don't want to try some?" A sarcastic smirk crept onto my face. I was about to speak when Zhang Ruonan changed the subject. Another plate of peeled shrimp was placed in front of Xiao Qingqiu. His eyes instantly lit up. He excitedly dug in, forgetting our previous topic. After dinner, Xiao Qingqiu dragged us to the movie theater. After browsing for a bit, he still picked a horror movie. It wasn't until we got into the theater that I realized his game. I sat on the far edge, listening to Xiao Qingqiu gasping next to me. One second he was so nervous, he grabbed Zhang Ruonan's coke by mistake. The next he was scared by a jump scare, gripping Zhang Ruonan's hand tight, screaming about how scared he was. Eventually he literally left his seat and threw himself right into her arms. His move made Zhang Ruonan freeze for a second. She instinctively frowned and raised her hand, like she was about to push him away. But, after a moment of hesitation, seeing his panicked face, and thinking of her mentor, she lowered her hand. She glanced over, and saw me staring straight at them. I had clearly seen everything that just happened, yet my eyes were completely unfazed. Zhang Yan, she called me by name, a rare moment of closeness, and was just about to explain. But I had already turned my head forward, looking super engrossed in the movie, acting like I couldn't care less. The excuse got stuck in her throat. Zhang Ruonan felt insanely uncomfortable. A little gasp from the guy in her arms made her quickly swallow that weird feeling, and she gently coaxed Xiao Qingqiu and me, hearing her comforting voice. I just chuckled, thinking about heading home and never coming back to this city. I figured I should say goodbye to my close friends first, so I sent a message to our group chat. Let's meet up. I have something to tell you guys. Tang Nuan, who I text the most, was the first to reply. She quickly answered, there's a class reunion in a few days. Let's do it then. I'm down. Me too. The idea got unanimous approval. On the day of the reunion, I headed out early. When I got to our private room, everyone else was already there. Seeing me walk in, they immediately started asking, Sang Yan, you said you had something to tell us. What is it? I'm heading back home to get married in a couple of days. I don't know if we'll see each other again, but you're all invited to my wedding. As soon as I said that, they remembered that WeChat Moments post I made a while back. They gasped. Zhang Yan, was that bride-swapping post real? Are you seriously breaking up with Zhang Ruonan and going home to marry someone else? Does Zhang Ruonan know about this? Right, as they said that, the door to the room swung open, and Zhang Ruonan's voice drifted in. Know what? Seeing Zhang Ruonan suddenly show up, everyone exchanged awkward looks. Finally, Tang Nuan laughed it off and changed the subject. Who let our gorgeous Zhang in here? Have you drawn a card yet? Seeing my confused frown, she smiled and explained. Lin Zheng is learning tarot lately. Everyone has to draw a card to be his guinea pig. Hearing his name, Lin Zheng walked over to us with a deck of cards, looking super hype. Come on, everyone pick one. I casually drew a card. Seeing me draw one, Zhang Ruonan agreed to play along too. Tang Nuan, who brought it up first, hyped it up. Quick, let our psychic Lin see what you guys drew. I was a bit curious if it'd be accurate. The card flipped over, and the words on it were super clear. Expectations lead to disappointment. Ask for nothing, and you shall return fully loaded. Reading that sentence, my expression froze. Well, it wasn't wrong. I handed the card back to Lin Zheng. Seeing the words on the card, he patted my shoulder comfortingly. The first half might not sound great, but doesn't the second half mean you'll get a pleasant surprise? Chill, don't sweat it. I nodded. I watched Zhang Ruonan draw a card from the deck. The card flipped, but the words on it made me pause. The few people who saw it went totally silent, which really left everyone else hanging. Someone grabbed the card from my hand, took one look and shoved it back to Lin Zheng. Psychic Lin, guess your skills aren't there yet. Who doesn't know? Zhang Yan and Zhang Ruonan are rock solid. How could Zhang Ruonan lose her true love forever? That comment just made my friends look even more awkward. How is it impossible for her to lose her true love? I've been planning to leave this city, leave Zhang Ruonan, and marry someone else. But since most people there didn't know the inside scoop, everyone kept joking about how Lin Zheng's cards were wrong. The teasing went on, and no one paid any special attention to us. Right then, a phone rang, sounding a bit faint in the noisy room. But Zhang Ruonan heard it instantly, and picked it up. I don't know what the other side said, but her expression drastically changed. She immediately looked at me. Sang Yan, come to the hospital with me. I had no idea why she needed to bring me to the hospital, but, seeing her dead serious face, I didn't ask questions. I followed Zhang Ruonan as she rushed out of the room. She sped all the way toward the hospital. Whenever we hit traffic, Her anxious expression and constant honking proved just how frantic and uneasy she was. A 30-minute drive was cut down to just over 10 minutes by her. When we got to the hospital, she didn't say a word and just dragged me straight to the rooftop. As soon as we got up there, I saw a burly guy holding a dagger, leaning against the railing. He was holding a panic tear streak. Xiao Qingqiu Hastagai. When Xiao Qingqiu saw Zhang Ruonan appear, his eyes instantly lit up with hope. Ruonan, save me. Before I could even figure out what was going on, the next second, I was shoved forward by a strong force. A familiar voice rang out from behind me. Look closely. This is my boyfriend. Let the guy you're holding hostage go. He's innocent. He means absolutely nothing to me. Even if you kill him, it won't do you any good. Only by taking my boyfriend hostages can you get what you want. Hearing Zhang Ruonan's words, it finally hit me. The only reason she rushed me over here was to use me to trade for Xiao Qingqiu's safety, adding in the whispers from the onlookers around us. I pretty much pieced together the whole drama today. It was just a medical dispute. The guy had probably been stalking her, seeing Zhang Ruonan with Xiao Qingqiu every single day. He assumed Xiao Qingqiu was her boyfriend and took him hostage. I felt like a bucket of ice water had been dumped over my head. My whole body went cold, and Zhang Ruonan behind me was still shoving me forward without a care in the world. How ridiculous. My girlfriend spends every day with another guy, and when there's danger, she shoves me right out, without a second thought, to be the shield for her mentor's son. The guy looked at Xiao Qingqiu in his hands, and then at me being pushed forward. Maybe he recognized me from stalking them. Even though I was still looking at the knife in disbelief, he subconsciously loosened his grip on Xiao Qingqiu. He looked around cautiously, getting ready to make me swap places as the hostage. But the moment he let go, a squad of cops suddenly rushed him from all sides. Someone kicked the knife out of his hand. With lightning speed, someone else pulled Xiao Qingqiu away, and Zhang Ruonan, the literal second Xiao Qingqiu, was safe. She rushed right to him. Qingqiu, are you okay? Xiao Qingqiu was totally traumatized and hugged her, crying uncontrollably. Ruonan, I was so scared. Only after she made sure he was fine did she remember she had literally just thrown me out there. She looked at me belatedly and asked, "Are you okay?" But when I looked back at her, my eyes were completely dead inside. Zhang Ruonan has never been the type to explain herself. Most of the time, she just doesn't care. But seeing me look like that right now, her heart actually skipped a beat. She realized she actually felt a surge of panic. Zhang Yan, the cops were already stationed all around us. As long as you distracted the guy for a second, the police were going to move in. It was just a tactic. She sounded so rational, so I didn't bother arguing. Yeah, just a tactic. I'm fine anyway, right? But what if something did go wrong? As my girlfriend, could she really just comfortably use my life to trade for someone else's? At that moment, I looked at her, and it was like looking at a stranger. I thought to myself, Sang Yan, is this the girlfriend you gave up everything for? Moving to this strange city for? Do you regret it? I think I do. Good thing, it's not too late to fix it. After that day, Zhang Ruonan said that since Xiao Qingqiu was taken hostage because of her, and he was badly shaken up, she couldn't just ignore him. So she stayed right by his side, and never left, totally forgetting that on that day, she also shoved me toward a guy with a knife. Luckily, I had already decided to give up on this hopeless relationship. I wasn't going to get my heart broken over her anymore. Left alone in the apartment again, I started slowly clearing out everything related to Zhang Ruonan from the room. I also went to pick up the wedding photos we took before. But then, I just took all of them out and threw them straight into a fire. I watched the flames completely swallow up those pictures, and then turned my attention back to the rest of the stuff in the room. In the past, to try and get closer to her, I bought endless amounts of matching couples stuff, from the toothbrushes and cups sitting side by the sink, to the towels with cute matching designs, to the couple outfits hanging in the closet, and the matching bracelets in the jewelry box. I gathered all of it up, threw it in a cardboard box, and tossed it all in the trash. From now on, I don't need any of this anymore. After throwing out everything I needed to, I started packing my bags. I used to put my whole heart into making this place my second home, wanting to leave traces of myself in every single corner of the house. I always thought that way. Whenever Ruonan saw those things, she'd naturally think of me, and over time, she'd eventually truly accept me, fall in love with me, and never be able to leave me. But even now, that never happened. I had a lot of stuff, so my packing slowed down. When Ruonan got home that night, I still wasn't done. She opened the bedroom door, and immediately saw clothes spread all over the bed. Her suddenly walking in startled me. Just as I was trying to come up with an excuse for the pile of clothes, she actually asked first, "What are you doing?" "Going on a business trip." I paused for a second, then turned my back to keep packing. Where she couldn't see, a bitter smile crossed my face. I already quit my job. What business trip? It's like it never even crossed her mind that I might actually leave her. But, whatever. I didn't feel like explaining anyway, so I just hummed in agreement. "When are you leaving?" Seeing me nod, she didn't overthink it, and just asked casually. I thought about it. No point in hiding this part. "Tomorrow morning." Ruonan didn't say anything else. She turned and left the bedroom, and actually started making dinner. She's a great cook. She just rarely does it because she's always busy with work. Because of that, the chances of me actually getting to eat her cooking are slim to none. Lately though, she's been cooking a lot, but all that food, without fail, ended up in Xiao Qingqiu's stomach. After dinner, Zhang pulled a gift box out from behind her and handed it to me. Looking at the gift box pushed in front of me, I gave her a slightly surprised look. She rarely takes the initiative like this. I didn't take the box. I just asked her directly, "What do you want?" "About the other day." "I'm sorry." She hesitated for a second, remembering my expression when I left. She still apologized, and I finally understood why she was acting so out of character today. But I had already decided to hand her over to Xiao Qingqiu, so her protecting him naturally had nothing to do with me anymore. My reaction was so bland that even Ruonan was a bit surprised. But she remembered what she needed to say, so she didn't overthink it, and just added, "Qingqiu's been really down lately. I asked for some time off work. I'm planning to spend more time with him for the next few days." She looked at me to gauge my reaction, but my face was still completely blank. None of the explosive anger I used to show whenever I heard she was going to see him. Sitting across from her, I felt nothing. In the past, no matter what I asked for, whether it was my birthday, a holiday, an anniversary, or even when I was sick or hurt, she never once agreed to take time off to be with me. Now, just because Xiao Qingqiu was feeling a little down, she voluntarily took time off to stay with him. What else was there left to say? "Do what you want." Seeing that I dropped those 4 words, and had nothing else to add it, Ruonan surprisingly got up and hugged me. "Sangyan, Qingqiu is my mentor's son. Ever since he passed away, he's been in a really bad place. And now, he got a massive scare. Once I help him get through this phase, it'll be fine. I'll make it up to you later." Okay. I didn't agree, but I didn't refuse either. There was no later anyway. Early the next morning, seeing I had already pushed my luggage by the door, she actually went out and bought breakfast. "I'll drop you off later." I didn't say a word. I just quietly ate breakfast at the table. When I finished and was about to leave, she suddenly checked her phone. Then, she said exactly what I expected her to say. "Zhang Yan, something just came up. I can't drop you off." I didn't even have to guess to know it was definitely Xiao Qingqiu looking for her. I just nodded, "Go do your thing." Seeing how easily I agreed, Ruonan didn't care anymore, turned around, and headed for the door. Right as she was about to step out, she looked back at me. "Let me know when you're flying back. I'll come pick you up." With that, she left without looking back. Watching her figure slowly disappear from sight, I whispered under my breath, "Ruonan, I'm never coming back." I took one last look around. This apartment I'd lived in for 6 whole years. I remembered how hyped and curious I was when I first moved in. And I remembered the crushing loneliness and sadness of being left here all by myself. But now, all of that just turned into a huge sense of relief and closure. Finally, I left a note on the table. "Ruonan, let's break up. I'm going home to get married." After doing all that, I grabbed the suitcase I'd packed by the door and caught a cab straight to the airport. From now on, Sang Yan is officially out of Zhang Ruonan's life. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Zhang Ruonan was speeding down the street. Suddenly, feeling this weird wave of anxiety, she hit the brakes, parking right downstairs at Xiao Qingqiu's place. She rolled down the window and took a deep breath, trying to push down that random sense of panic. Her phone screen lit up. It was a text from Xiao Qingqiu. Ruonan, are you here yet? I'm so dizzy. I think I have a fever. She frowned and texted back, be right there. But she couldn't bring herself to open the car door. Zhang Yan's dead calm eyes from this morning flashed in her mind, along with his casual, go do your thing. It was too quiet. So quiet that it didn't even seem like him. The old Sang Yan, if he knew she was ditching him for Xiao Qingqiu again, would have definitely thrown a fit. He would have confronted her with red, teary eyes, or stubbornly blocked the door to stop her from leaving. But this time, he didn't. She rubbed her temples, telling herself she was just overthinking it. Zhang Yan had loved her for 6 years. He gave up his hometown for her, settling down in this city. How could he possibly actually leave? That bride-swapping WeChat moments post was probably just him venting. Once she was done taking care of Xiao Qingqiu, she could just go back and coax him a bit. Thinking about that, she pulled herself together, grabbed the porridge she bought for Xiao Qingqiu, and got out of the car. Meanwhile, at the airport terminal, I turned off my phone, popped out the SIM card I'd used for years, and tossed it right into the trash. I don't need it anymore. Anything tying me to this city, or to Zhang Ruonan, I just don't need it anymore. The boarding announcement echoed over the PA. I grabbed my suitcase and didn't look back. Zhang Yan, a familiar voice, totally out of breath, called out from behind me. I stopped in my tracks. Even without turning around, I knew it was Li Xia. She ran around to face me, a light sheen of sweat on her forehead, but rocking a bright, playful smile. Made it just in time. I was worried a certain someone might flake out on me. So I booked the earliest flight and sped all the way here to catch you. Seeing her like this, the last lingering bits of gloom in my heart suddenly just faded away. I keep my promises. I waved my boarding pass in front of her. I'm really heading back this time. Li Xia looked deeply into my eyes, like she was trying to confirm something. A few seconds later, her smile grew even brighter, as she naturally linked her arm through mine. Awesome. Let's go then. Hubby, let's go home and get married. She called me hubby so loudly and confidently that a few passengers nearby actually turned to look. I stiffened up for a second, but then totally relaxed, letting her pull me along toward the boarding gate, feeling the warmth from her hand. That long-lost feeling of being someone's absolute first choice quietly melted away the coldness I'd carried for years. Back in Xiao Qingqiu's apartment, he was wrapped up in a blanket, looking super pale and leaning on the couch, taking tiny sips of warm water from Zhang Ruonan. Ruonan, thank you for going out of your way for me again. His voice was weak, but his eyes were glued to Zhang Ruonan. If it weren't for you, I honestly wouldn't know what to do. Zhang Ruonan just gave an absent-minded and shat. Her eyes swept across her phone screen. The time showed that Sang Yan's flight should have already taken off. That wave of anxiety hit her again, even stronger than before. She stood up. Ching, get some rest. I have some stuff to handle at home, so I'm heading back. Xiao Qingqiu froze. He immediately grabbed her wrist, his eyes tearing up. You're leaving, but I'm still so dizzy. I'm scared to be alone. What if some bad guy comes after me again like last time? Normally, seeing him act like this, Zhang Ruonan would have definitely caved and stayed. But right now, looking at Xiao Qingqiu's pathetic expression, all she could think about was that day on the hospital rooftop, when she shoved Sang Yan forward without a second thought. The look in his eyes when he turned back to look at her, they were so empty and dead, without a single spark of life. She gently but firmly pulled her hand back. I'll come check on you tomorrow. Without giving Xiao Qingqiu a chance to say anything else, she grabbed her bag and hurried out of the apartment. On the drive back, Zhang Ruonan drove faster than she ever had before. She kept calling Sang Yan's number, but all she got was, the number you have dialed is powered off. She tried to comfort herself, thinking he might just be on a plane or his battery died. But the moment she unlocked the front door, this overwhelmingly empty and freezing vibe hit her right in the face. The living room was way too clean. Zhang Yan's jacket, which he usually tossed casually on the couch, was gone. His go-to shoes were missing from the shoe rack too. Her heart skipped a beat as she sprinted into the bedroom. Half the closet was empty. Every single piece of clothing, hat, and scarf belonging to Zhang Yan was totally gone. In the bathroom, his goofy cartoon toothbrush and cup had vanished, leaving only her toiletries sitting there all alone. The matching couple's towels and slippers he forced her to use. And basically, everything that had his touch on it was all wiped completely clean. It was like he never even lived in this apartment for the last 6 years. Finally, she noticed the note on the dining table. It was a white sticky note with Zhang Yan's neat handwriting. Zhang Ruonan, let's break up. I'm going home to get married. No greeting, no signature, not a single extra word. It was just blunt and final. It felt like a freezing cold knife, perfectly slicing right through the absolute certainty she had always taken for granted. Zhang Ruonan clutched the note, her fingers trembling slightly from gripping it so hard. She read those 2 lines over and over, like she couldn't even process what they meant. Break up, go home and get married. Get married to who? That person saved as wifey in his phone. Li Xia? No way. He's just mad. Just like all the times before. He's just using some extreme stunt to get her attention. Waiting for her to come coax him. He loves her so much. Loves her enough to throw away everything else for her. How could he actually just up and leave? Just turn around and marry someone else? Right, he must have just gone back to his hometown town. Once he cools off, once he realizes he can't survive without me, he'll come back. Just like after every fight we've had, cautiously trying to butter me up, coming back to me with an even deeper love. She took a deep breath, trying to suppress the panic and that sharp piercing pain in her chest. She took out her phone and found Li Xia's number. It was a number she had saved by chance. Due to work, she never thought she'd actually call it. The phone rang for a long time before someone answered. Hello? Li Xia's voice carried a hint of laziness. The background noise was a bit loud, like she was outdoors. Li Xia, it's Zhang Ruonan. She tried her best to make her voice sound calm and steady. Is Zhang Yan with you? The other end of the line went silent for 2 seconds. Then came a soft chuckle, laced with unconcealed mockery. Dr. Jiang. Well, this is rare. Why are you calling me to look for your boyfriend? Zhang Ruonan gripped her phone tight. I know he went back. Please, put him on the phone. Put him on. Li Xia's laugh became even more obvious. Sorry, it's not very convenient for him right now. What do you mean? I mean, Li Xia drawled slowly. My husband is currently trying on the suit we're wearing to get our marriage license tomorrow. He doesn't have time to take a call from his ex, especially an ex who, for the sake of another man, pushed him toward a guy with a knife. The word husband stabbed into Zhang Ruonan's ears like a needle. Her breathing hitched, and her voice turned cold. Li Xia, this is between us. Please don't joke around. Let Zhang Yan answer the phone. I have something to say to him. Between us. Li Xia's tone also turned icy. Zhang Ruonan, get this straight. Zhang Yan is my fiancée now. We're getting our marriage license tomorrow. You two have been over for a long time. And he's not your property, to be called and dismissed at your whim. When you ditched him, time and time again, for that guy, surnamed Shao, even risking his life. Why didn't you think about having something to say to him then? It was an emergency that day, and the police had it all planned out. Zhang Ruonan tried to explain. Enough. Li Xia cut her off, her voice laced with suppressed anger. Save your high-sounding excuses. Zhang Ruonan, you don't understand what love is at all. And you don't deserve Zhang Yan's love. From now on, please don't bother my husband ever again. Hope you and your precious brother Qing Chigu stay locked together forever. A match made in heaven. With that, without waiting for Zhang Ruonan to respond, she hung up the phone. Only the dial tone was left in the receiver. Zhang Ruonan stood frozen in place, listening to the beep, beep of the dial tone. She felt the blood in her entire body run cold. Li Xia's words were like slaps to the face, hitting her heart and leaving a burning pain. Husband, marriage license, tomorrow. No, that's impossible. Zhang Yan is hers. He can only be hers. He loved her for 6 years, guarded her for 6 years. How could he become someone else's husband in the blink of an eye? Like a crazy person, she dialed Sang Yan's number again. It was still powered off. She opened WeChat, found Sang Yan's chat, and typed a message. Zhang Yan, come back, let's talk. Her finger hovered over the send button, but she just couldn't press it. Talk about what? Ask him to come back. To keep watching her dote on Xiao Qingqiu. To being ignored by her. To keep being pushed out as a sacrifice whenever she needed it. For the first time, she clearly realized Sang Yan might really not be coming back. This realization sent a violent, unfamiliar tearing pain through her chest. It hurt so much she could barely breathe. She held the edge of the dining table and slowly squatted down. Tears spilled from her eyes without warning, dropping onto the cold floor. She didn't understand why she was crying. She didn't love Sang Yan, did she? She was just used to his presence, used to his sacrifices, used to turning around and seeing him right there. She agreed to his pursuit, maybe just because she was annoyed by his clinging, or maybe because the way he looked at her was so passionate. It made her occasionally feel that having someone love her like this wasn't so bad. But why did her heart hurt so much? The plane landed. I turned on my phone, and countless missed calls and WeChat messages flooded in. Almost all of them were from Zhang Ruonan. I quickly skimmed through them. From the initial demanding, "Where did you go?" to the later, "Come back, let's talk," to the most recent ones filled with obvious panic. "Answer the phone. I was wrong. Please come back." Okay. I didn't click into a single one. My fingers tapped the screen a few times, and I expertly blocked that familiar number and her social accounts. All completely blocked. The world instantly got quiet. Li Xia leaned over to take a look and pouted. Now she knows she messed up. What was she doing before? She hooked her arm through mine, her tone light and breezy. "Let's go. My parents are waiting at home. Said they prepared a welcome dinner for you, and we can discuss the wedding details." Looking at her energetic side profile, my heart felt warm. The Li family and my family are close family friends. Li Xia's parents practically treated me like a son since we were kids. This time, with Li Xia and me getting a flash marriage, they didn't object at all. In fact, they were thrilled to see it happen. When we got home, it was a super lively scene. The dining table was packed with Li Xia's and my favorite dishes. The elders of both families were chatting happily, seeing us walk in hand. Relieved and happy smiles appeared on all their faces. "Sang is back. Come sit. Come sit." Mother Li greeted me warmly, grabbing my hand and looking me up and down. "You've lost weight. You definitely didn't eat well out there. From now on, let Xia feed you well and build you back up." Father Li patted my shoulder, his tone steady. "It's good that you're back. Let the past stay in the past. Look forward. As long as you and Xia are doing well, we can rest easy." Looking at their caring eyes and hearing their simple, warm words, my eyes teared up a little. This is what home feels like. Over the past 6 years, I had almost forgotten what it felt like to be cared about, to be cherished by someone. After dinner, Li Xia and I were getting some fresh air on the balcony. So, no regrets. She tilted her head and looked at me. The night breeze blew her long hair, and her eyes were sparkling. I shook my head, looking out at the familiar city night view in the distance. My tone calm. "The only thing I regret is how blind I used to be." Li Xia smiled and handed me a can of beer. "Good. Sang Yan, let me tell you. Starting tomorrow, you belong to me, Li Xia. I'll show you what it really means to be loved and cherished." As for Zhang Ruonan, let her and her precious first love rot together in the past. I took the beer and clinked it against hers. Deal. Meanwhile, in Zhang Ruonan's world, Sang Yan had completely dropped off the grid. Calls wouldn't go through. She was blocked on WeChat, and every single way to reach him was cut off. She drove to Sang Yan's company, only to find out he had already quit and left. She tracked down their mutual friends to ask around, but They all just said. Zhang Yan mentioned he was going home to get married. After that, total silence. He didn't even send out wedding invites. Seeing what a wreck she looked like, Tang Nuan sighed. Ruonan. Just let it go. Sang Yin is for real this time. When he said goodbye to us before leaving, his eyes were so calm. He's truly moved on. Moved on? The color completely drained from Zhang Ruonan's face. How could he possibly move on? Why couldn't he? Lin Zheng finally snapped. Ruonan, all of us friends saw it with our own eyes. Think about how much Sang Yan sacrificed for you over these 6 years. And what did you ever do for him? You were always so cold and aloof, acting like everything he did for you was just a given. At the reunion last time, you literally ditched him over a single phone call from Xiao Qingqiu. And later, you actually pushed him out. As a human shield for Xiao Qingqiu, anyone's heart would turn to ice after that, wouldn't it? Zhang Ruonan opened her mouth to argue back, but realized she had absolutely nothing to say. Looking like a total wreck, she headed back to that massive, freezing apartment. Every single corner still felt like it held traces of Sang Yan, yet it was completely empty, screaming at her that he was gone for good. Like she was possessed, she pulled open the drawer of the desk Sang Yan used to use. Inside were just some random knickknacks he didn't bother taking. Tucked inside an old notebook, she found a photo. It was taken right after they made things official, during one of their road trips. In the picture, Sang Yan was hugging her from behind, smiling like a kid who had just won the lottery. His eyes were practically sparkling. And her? She had her head slightly tilted, wearing a faint, maybe a bit awkward, but totally genuine smile, looking at the photo. At Sang Yan's eyes so full of love and pure happiness. And then thinking back to recently, to that dead empty look he gave her, it felt like an invisible hand was squeezing her heart. The pain was so intense it made her double over. She finally realized exactly what she had lost. The next day, Li Xia and I went to the Civil Affairs Bureau, took the photos, filled out the forms, said the vows, got the stamps. The whole process went unbelievably smooth. When that red marriage certificate was finally in my hands, looking at our names and photos, side by side, I felt this weird but amazing sense of grounding. It wasn't some explosive, crazy euphoria, but more like the peace of a wandering ship. Finally, docking at the harbor, Li Xia held the certificate, flipping it over and admiring it, grinning from ear to ear. Click! She snapped a selfie of us holding the certificates. What are you doing? I asked. Posting to my moments, duh. She said it like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Such a massive, world-stopping event obviously needs to be announced to the whole world. Gotta let certain blind people see exactly who Li Xia's man is from now on. Seeing how fiercely protective and unapologetic she looked, I couldn't help but laugh. Whatever you want. A few minutes later, her WeChat moments updated. No long cheesy paragraphs. Just 2 pictures. One was the official red background marriage photo. In it, I was wearing a white button-down. Looking chill and gentle, Li Xia leaned into me, smiling radiantly, her eyes literally brimming with happiness. The second photo was just our 2 marriage certificates side by side. The caption was bold and straight to the point. Officially licensed and on the clock. Mr. Sang, looking forward to the rest of our lives. Sang Yan. That post went off like a bomb, sending shockwaves through our mutual friends' circle. Likes and congratulations instantly blew up the feed. But mostly it was pure shock and gossip. Holy shit, is this for real? Sang Yan and Li Xia. Weren't they literally arch enemies? Talk about a massive plot twist. Wasn't Sang Yan with Zhang Ruonan like yesterday? And today, he's hitched to Li Xia. Congrats, congrats. A gorgeous couple. Perfect match. I literally told you guys. His post about swapping brides wasn't a joke. Zhang Ruonan really fumbled the bag this time. Campus Belle is an absolute legend. Finally locked down handsome Sang. I didn't really pay much attention to all the gossip. I just went out with Li Xia and her besties to enjoy a celebration dinner. By the time we got home, it was already night. I had a few missed calls from unknown numbers on my phone. I figured it was probably Zhang Ruonan calling from a different number. I ignored them. I was just about to go take a shower when the doorbell rang. Li Xia went to answer it. Standing outside, was a completely exhausted, terrifyingly pale Zhang Ruonan. She clearly saw Li Xia's moments post, and somehow managed to track us down here. "Where's Sangyan?" Her voice was hoarse. Her eyes, red and swollen. Her usual cold, aloof vibe was totally gone. She pushed past Li Xia, her eyes locking straight onto me inside. "Zhang Yan, come out here. Tell me this isn't real." Li Xia crossed her arms and blocked the doorway, letting out a cold laugh. "Dr. Zhang, do you want to inspect our marriage certificates to see if they're real too? Showing up at someone else's house in the middle of the night screaming, is this how you were raised?" Zhang Ruonan completely ignored Li Xia. She just stared dead at me, tears silently rolling down her face. "Why, Sang Yan, tell me why. We were literally just about to get married. How could you? How could you marry someone else?" I walked up to the door, looking at the woman I had loved for 6 years, the one who completely drained me, body and soul. My heart felt absolutely nothing. "Zhang Ruonan," I said, my voice completely flat. "You asked. The moment you threw me to the wolves, to take a knife or Xiao Qing Qiyu, that was the exact moment we were completely done. No, that was just a tactic. The police had it all set up. You were never going to get hurt." She frantically defended herself, "And when I was burning up with a fever, literally begging you to come back, where were you?" I cut her off. My tone was calm, but the words sliced through her delusions like a dull knife. "When I was stuck in the pouring rain outside the funeral parlor, unable to get a cab, where were you then? Whenever you needed me, I was expected to be there. But the second you needed to prioritize Xiao Qing Qiwu, I was expected to step back unconditionally, even put my life on the line." "Zhang Ruonan, I am human too. I get exhausted, I feel pain, and eventually I just give up." She was completely speechless. Her face was as pale as a ghost, and she looked like she was about to collapse. "And now, I'm completely over it." I reached out and took Li Xia's hand, intertwining our fingers, and held them up in front of Zhang Ruonan. "As you can see, I'm married. I have a new life, and a new love. Don't ever show up here again." With that, I didn't even give her another glance. I turned to Li Xia and said softly, "Wifey, close the door." Li Xia gave the totally devastated Zhang Ruonan one last look, before shutting the door firmly in her face. It completely shut out that desperate, agonized look from our world. The door clicked shut, totally isolating Zhang Ruonan and her shattered world. On the other side, I leaned against the door, clearly hearing the crying outside. It was the sound of someone who had suppressed everything to the absolute limit, and finally, just broke down, like a wounded animal, desperate and bleak. Once upon a time, a single tear from her would have thrown me into a total panic. But right now, all I felt was the peace of closure. No more emotional waves. Li Xia didn't say a word. She just quietly walked over and hugged me from behind, resting her cheek against my back. Her hug was warm and strong, carrying an undeniable sense of certainty. "I'm fine." I turned around and pulled her into my arms, resting my chin gently on the top of her head. "It's all over." She gave a muffled hem against my chest, then looked up, her eyes shining. "Mr. Sang, to celebrate our new marriage, and to completely wash off the bad vibes, I've decided we're going on our honeymoon tomorrow." That fast? I was a bit surprised. We haven't even had the wedding yet. The wedding can be planned slowly, but the honeymoon can't wait. She pulled me over to the couch to sit down, and excitedly pulled out her phone. "I have already picked a place. Maldives, sunshine, beaches, ocean waves. Perfect for healing the soul. I'm booking the flights and hotel right now." Watching her fingers fly across the screen, her face radiating pure joy and excitement, the last bit of gloom in my heart was swept away. This feeling of being cherished, of someone eagerly writing you into their future plans. It's been way too long. It feels so damn good. I don't know how long the crying outside the door lasted, but it eventually faded away. Zhang Ruonan sat slumped on the cold floor. Her tears had run dry, leaving nothing but hollow despair. Her phone screen was still lit, stuck on Li Xia's glaringly obvious WeChat moments post. In the photo, Sang Yan's eyes were peaceful and warm. It was a relaxed look she had never seen on him before, and Li Xia's smile was radiant and unapologetic. carrying that specific glow of a winner. She violently slammed her phone onto the ground. The screen shattered instantly, just like her heart, in that exact moment. No, he wouldn't just abandon me. She kept muttering to herself, like she was clinging to the last straw. He's just mad. He's just getting back at me. He loves me so much. How could he actually fall for someone else? She struggled to her feet and rushed into the bathroom, splashing cold water on her face over and over, desperately trying to snap herself out of it. The person in the mirror was ghost pale. Her eyes were red and swollen. Her hair was a mess. Where was the cold, untouchable goddess vibe she usually had? No, she couldn't just give up like this. Zhang Yan is hers. He can only be hers. Li Xia must have taken advantage of the situation and used some trick to trap Sang Yan. Right, that has to be it. A crazy idea formed in her head. She was going to find Sang Yan and clear things up face to face. She was going to tell him that she regretted it, that she knew she messed up, that she couldn't live without him. As long as he was willing to come back, she could change anything. She could never see Xiao Qingqiu again. She could make him her #1 priority. She picked her shattered phone back up off the floor. Thank God it still turned on. She immediately looked up the next available flights, and without hesitation, booked a ticket straight to Sang Yan's hometown. Then, she started frantically packing her bags. Her movements were rushed and panicked, as if being 1 second too slow would mean Sang vanishing forever. Zhang Ruonan dragged her suitcase and relied on her vague memory of Sang Yan's address, asking around all the way until she finally found his family's neighborhood. It was an older residential area that looked cozy and quiet. She stood downstairs, took a deep breath, fixed her hair and clothes, trying her best to look somewhat presentable. Only then did she gather the courage to walk upstairs. Standing in front of the door, she hesitated for a long time, before finally raising her hand and ringing the bell. The person who opened the door was Sang Yan's mom. Seeing Zhang Ruonan standing outside, Mother Sang froze for a second. The smile on her face faded. "Oh, it's you, Ruonan. What brings you here?" "Hello, Auntie." Zhang Ruonan forced out a stiff smile. "I'm here to see Sang Yan. Is he home?" "Little Yan?" Mother Sang's tone was calm. "He and Xia went on their honeymoon. He's not home." Honeymoon. Those words hit Zhang Ruonan's heart like a sledgehammer. She swayed on her feet, her face turning even paler. Honeymoon. Her voice trembled. They really, yeah. They left the day after they got their license. Mother Sang looked at her devastated face and sighed. "Ruonan, things have already reached this point. I don't really have anything else to say to you. How little Yan treated you in the past. As parents, we saw it all. It was you who, sigh, forget it. Let the past stay in the past. He and Xia are doing great now. Don't come around here anymore." With that, Mother Sang nodded at her and gently closed the door. Zhang Ruonan stood frozen and placid, feeling like every ounce of strength had been drained from her body. Her last shred of hope was completely shattered. He really married someone else. He really went on a honeymoon with someone else. Even his family fully accepted this new reality. She didn't even know how she made it downstairs. She sat on a bench in the neighborhood courtyard, looking totally lost. The sunlight hit her, but she didn't feel a trace of warmth, only a bone-chilling cold. Just then, her phone rang. It was from the hospital. "Dr. Zhang, while you've been on leave, Mr. Xiao Qingqiu has come to the hospital looking for you a few times. He seems a bit emotionally unstable. Also, regarding that project you were in charge of Yi, the partners are hoping." Listening to the work report on the other end, Zhang Ruonan only felt a wave of irritation. Xiao Qingqiu, the hospital, the projects, all these things. The things that used to take up almost all of her energy. Hearing about them now just felt so dull, even disgusting. She gave a few rushed, half-hearted replies, and hung up the phone. For the first time ever, she felt a massive sense of doubt and exhaustion toward the responsibilities and debts of gratitude she had always clung to so tightly. After getting back from our honeymoon, Li Xia and I settled right into our new life. I took over part of my family's business, and at the same time, started setting up my own design studio. Li Xia went back to work at her family's company, and totally bossed it, pushing forward several new projects. During the day, we both hustled. At night, we'd come home to eat together, or grab drinks with friends. Life was fulfilling and peaceful. Li Xia kept her word. She really showed me what it meant to be loved, to be cherished. She remembered everything I liked. When I was working overtime, she'd sneak over to my office to bring me late-night snacks. When I was stressed about work, she'd try every trick in the book to make me laugh. She never held back from showing me love. Every day before leaving, and when coming home, I always got a hug and a kiss. And in front of my parents, she always knew exactly how to defend me and lighten the mood. This kind of steady but passionate warmth slowly healed all the damage from my past 6 years. The scars that had piled up. One day I was hanging out with some childhood friends. Among them was Lin Zhang, the guy who did tarot readings at that class reunion. Sang Yan, look at you, making big moves on the down low. A friend laughed and playfully punched my shoulder, quietly snagging our Miss Lip. You're totally glowing now. Living the good life, huh? Li Xia proudly tilted her chin up next to me. Of course, I take good care of him. Lin Zhang looked at me and smiled too. Looks like my cards were pretty spot on. Ask for nothing, and you shall return fully loaded. You definitely got what you asked for. I raised my glass and clinked it with his. Gotta thank you for the good luck charm back then. As we were laughing and chatting, my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number, a long paragraph. The tone was unmistakably Zhang Ruonan, filled with suppressed pain and a stubborn refusal to let go. Zhang Yan, I know you don't want to see me, and you don't want to talk to me, but I still have to tell you. I live in regret and agony every single day. I quit my job at the hospital. I've also completely cut ties with Xiao Qingqigu. I was wrong before. I was blinded by so-called gratitude and responsibility, and ignored how important you are to me. Now, I finally realize. I can't live without you. Whatever Li Xia can give you, I can too. I can even give you what she can't. We were together for 6 years. So many memories. Can you really just throw it all away? Give me one chance. Let's start over, please. I'm begging you. I finished reading the text. My face, totally blank. I just deleted it. And blocked this new number too. What's up? Li Xia sharply caught my little movement, leaned in, and whispered, nothing. I wrapped my arm around her waist, and kissed her cheek. Just spam. Li Xia blinked, smiled knowingly, and didn't ask anything else. She went back to joking around with the others. This kind of unspoken understanding and trust made me feel incredibly comfortable. But Zhang Ruonan still hadn't given up. Looking at the message failed to send, notification on her screen. Zhang Ruonan's heart sank to the bottom. He blocked her again. She wouldn't give up. She used yet another number to call, Sang Yan. This time, it rang for a long time. Just when she thought it was going to hang up automatically, it connected. Hello? Sang Yan's voice was completely flat. A surge of joy hit Zhang Ruonan's heart. Her voice trembled with excitement. Sang Yan, it's me. You finally picked up. Zhang Ruonan. He cut her off, his tone carrying a faint trace of impatience. I thought I made myself perfectly clear. I know, she said desperately. I just wanted to tell you. I've changed. I really know I messed up. I quit my job, and I'm completely done with Xiao Qingqigu. My heart only has you now. Sang Yan, let's start over, okay? Li Xia, she's my wife. Sang Yan's voice turned icy cold, carrying an undeniable warning. Zhang Ruonan, please have some basic respect. Whatever was between us ended the moment you repeatedly chose Xiao Qingqigu, and even threw me out to keep him safe. It's been completely over since then. Stop calling me. It just annoys me, and makes me look down on you even more. With that, he hung up cleanly. Zhang Ruonan gripped her phone, listening to the dial tone. She felt freezing cold. The coldness and absolute finality in his words hurt more than any accusation. Not only did he not love her anymore, he even looked down on her. An overwhelming sense of humiliation and despair swallowed her whole. She slumped onto the floor, hugging her knees, crying silently. Why? Why did she wake up so late? Why did she throw away Sang Yan, who loved her so much? Right at that moment, her doorbell rang. She rushed to open it like it was a lifeline, thinking it was Sang Yan changing his mind. but standing outside was a dark-faced, scruffy Xiao Qingqiu. Ruonan, why aren't you answering my calls? You even blocked me on everything. Xiao Qingqiu's voice was full of demands and resentment. My dad's gone. You're all I have left. How can you just abandon me too? Looking at this guy, the man she had given endless passes to because of her mentor, Zhang Ruonan felt an unprecedented wave of disgust and exhaustion. Xiao Qingqiu, whatever was between us, was only ever about the bond between a mentor and his student. Now that my mentor is gone, that bond is officially over. Her tone was ice cold. Please stop coming to find me. Xiao Qingqiu stared at her in total disbelief. What did you just say? It's over. Zhang Ruonan, before my dad left, you literally promised him you'd take care of me. You want to burn bridges now, just because that bastard Sang Yan dumped you. Are you taking your anger out on me? Enough! Zhang Ruonan sharply cut him off. The emotions she had been bottling up finally exploded. Xiao Qingqiu, ask yourself, did you really just see me as a sister? You constantly drove a wedge between me and Sang Yan. You constantly used your dad's dying wish and your own fragility to emotionally blackmail me, making me ignore the person who actually loved me. I used to be stupid. I was blinded by gratitude for your dad. But now, I see, clearly, you and your selfish possessiveness make me sick. Please leave right now. Xiao Qingqiu was stunned by her harsh words. His face turned green and pale by turns. His eyes gradually grew dark. Zhang Ruonan, you're going to regret this. He dropped that threat and stormed off in anger. Zhang Ruonan closed the door, slumped against it, and slid to the floor. Kicking out Xiao Qingqiu didn't make her feel any lighter. It just made her feel even more empty and miserable. Because she knew, even if she chased away the entire world, that Sang Yan, whose eyes and heart were once full of her, was never coming back. A few months later, Li Xia and my wedding was grandly held in our hometown. We didn't invite too many people, mostly relatives from both sides, and some truly close friends. The venue was decorated so warm and romantically. I stood on the stage, watching Li Xia in her pure white wedding dress, walking toward me step by step on her father's arm. She wore a happy and shy smile, looking breathtakingly beautiful. My father-in-law solemnly placed her hand in mine and patted my shoulder. Lil Yan, I'm trusting you with my daughter. Dad, don't worry. I held Li Xia's hand tight and made a solemn promise. Exchanging rings, saying our vows, kissing. Through the whole process, I looked at her. She looked at me, and we only had eyes for each other. The crowd erupted in passionate applause and cheers of blessing. Tang Nuan, Lin Sheng, and the crew came too. They were cheering from the audience, keeping the vibe super hype. Now, the groom may kiss the bride. Then he announced loudly. I lowered my head and kissed Li Xia deeply. This kiss held a promise. It held love, and it held the peace of completely letting go of the past. Photos and videos from the wedding inevitably made their way online. Late one night, Zhang Ruonan was scrolling through social media and saw a wedding clip a friend had reposted. In the video, the way Sang Yan looked at Li Xia, that gentle, soft gaze, that genuine, heartfelt smile, those were things she had never received from him. They exchanged rings. They kissed deeply. They accepted everyone's blessings. Every single frame was like a poisoned needle, stabbing fiercely into her heart. It hurt so much, it was suffocating. She closed the video, curled up on her freezing bed, and her tears soaked the pillow. The room still had the faint lingering scent from the few things Sang Yan left behind. But that man was already holding another woman, starting a perfect, happy life without her. She lost. A total devastating defeat. Massive regret and emptiness tortured her day after day. She started having insomnia, lost her appetite, and rapidly lost a ton of weight. Her once cold, elegant vibe was replaced by a lingering depression and gloom. She tried to start over, went back to the medical field, and switched to a different hospital. But she was nowhere near her old self. She couldn't focus. She even almost made a fatal mistake during a surgery. She knew something was wrong with her. Psychologically, she secretly went to see a therapist. The diagnosis: severe depression and anxiety. The doctor recommended a structured treatment plan and told her to try and let go of her obsessions. Let go. Ruonan looked at the diagnosis and gave a bitter smile. How could she let go? He was the only person she had ever loved. He was her entire world, and she lost him. She started having hallucinations. Sometimes she'd hear Sang Yan calling her name. Sometimes she'd see him standing right outside the window. She knew she was probably losing her mind. One night, during a heavy rainstorm, she dialed again. That number burned into her very bones. That would never connect again. Talking into the cold automated voice message, she repeated over and over. Zhang Yan, I was wrong. Please, come back. I threw everything away. I only have you now. No, I don't even have you anymore. The only answer she got was the sound of the rain outside and the endless dial tone from the phone. Her world, through every time she took him for granted, ignored him, and hurt him, had already completely collapsed, leaving nothing but ruins. And that person who once tried to build a castle for her in those ruins had already turned away and found his own bright sunlit garden. Life after the wedding unfolded slowly like a beautiful painting, warm and grounded. Li Xia and I moved into our own new home. It wasn't huge, but she decorated it to be incredibly cozy and comfortable. Every corner felt like home. My design studio also officially opened. Li Xia came up with the name. She called it Yan Yu. She said it represented what I, Sang Yan, wanted to say and express to the world. As for the startup funds, besides my own savings, the Li family also supported a chunk of it. In Li Xia's words, she was investing in her husband's bright future. In the early days of the studio, there were a million things to do. Finding a location, renovating, hiring, hustling for clients. I was so busy my feet barely touched the ground. But this kind of busy felt fulfilling. It was fighting for my own future and my family's future. It was totally different from the past, when I was draining myself dry, just chasing after an untouchable figure. Li Xia became my most capable head of logistics and my #1 fan. She used a lot of her connections to introduce me to a few solid clients. Whenever I was pulling all-nighters, drawing up plans, they always find different ways to bring me good food. Sometimes she cooked it herself. Sometimes she ordered takeout. She'd always joke, saying she couldn't let her creative director create on an empty stomach. One day, I was at the studio with the team, discussing a preliminary proposal for a restaurant space. Li Xia walked in, carrying an insulated bag. Good work, everyone. I brought afternoon tea. Take a break, guys. She smiled and greeted everyone, totally owning the boss's wife role. The team was all young people, and they laughed and played along. Thanks, boss lady. She placed a specially packed portion of pastries and cakes on my desk and leaned over to look at the design on my computer. Her eyes lit up. Wow. This curved ceiling design is so unique. It makes the whole space feel so much more dynamic. Her compliments were always so direct and sincere, filled with unconcealed admiration. I smiled and ruffled her hair. You like it? Let's design our house like this in the future. You said it. Her eyes sparkled even more. Just then, my assistant, Xiao Chen, walked over with a phone. Looking a bit hesitant. Mr. Sang, there's a call for you. It's a Ms. Zhang. She said she's an old friend, and it's super urgent. The studio's landline number was brand new. Zhang Ruonan must have gone through a lot of trouble to find it. The smile on Li Xia's face faded a little, but she didn't say anything. She just looked at me. I dropped my smile too, and told Xiao Chen, tell her I'm busy and can't take the call. From now on, if this Miss Zhang or a Mr. Xiao calls, just tell them I'm not here. Got it, Mr. Sang? Xiao Chen nodded and immediately went back to reply. Li Xia leaned against my desk and whispered, she really won't give up, huh? I grabbed her hand, my tone totally calm. Irrelevant people can't affect us. Listening to the polite but distant rejection on the other end of the line, Zhang Ruonan gripped her phone so tightly, her knuckles turned white. She could practically picture Sang Yan's indifferent expression. When he said he was busy, he wouldn't answer her calls, blocked her on everything, and now even refused to take a call at his studio. Why? How could he be so heartless? 6 years of history. Did it really mean absolutely nothing to him? She just couldn't accept it. She started frantically searching online for any news about Sangyan and Li Xia. Xia updated her social media frequently. It was all sweet, everyday couple stuff. The breakfast Sang made for her, the ticket stubs from the movies they saw together, updates on Sangyan's studio, and photos of them walking hand in hand from behind. Every single post was like a slow, dull blade, cutting into Zhang Ruonan's already shattered heart. She saw Li Xia post a side profile of Sangyan working at his desk. The caption read, "A man hard at work is the hottest. My hubby's design caught the eye of a huge client. So proud. Huge client? What huge client?" Zhang Yan's career had just barely started. A dark thought slithered into her mind like a venomous snake. She was going to find out who this client was, and she was going to destroy him. If she couldn't have him, then there was no way Li Xia was going to have a beautiful future with Sangyan either. She used some of the connections she built up in the medical field and started secretly digging around, investigating any potential clients who had been in contact with Sangyan's studio. Like a totally unhinged detective, she poured all her energy into this sick, obsessive stalking and sabotage. 2 months after the studio opened, we finally landed a pretty massive project, doing the complete interior design for a rising local boutique hotel chain called Chi Yuan. We got the gig through a friend's intro. The client-side's boss, Mr. Zhao, was super happy after seeing our pitch and locked in the deal super fast. For a startup studio like ours, this was definitely a huge shot in the arm. The whole team's morale was through the roof. To celebrate, Li Xia specifically cooked a huge feast at home. "Congrats, Mr. Sang, on a flawless victory." She raised her glass, smiling even wider and happier than I was. "Half the credit goes to you." I smiled and clinked glasses with her. She proudly tilted her chin up. Then she remembered something. "Oh right, I heard Mr. Zhao from Chi Yuan. His wife hasn't been in the best health. She gets really bad migraines. They've seen a bunch of doctors, but nothing really works." I nodded, but didn't think much of it. After all, it was the client's private business. But a few days later, right before we were about to sign the official contract with Chi Yuan, Mr. Zhao suddenly asked to meet. He looked really conflicted. "Mr. Sang, I'm really sorry." Mr. Zhao rubbed his hands together. "About our partnership. We might need to rethink things." My heart dropped, but I kept a straight face. "Mr. Zhao, are you unhappy with the design somewhere? We can always revise it." "It's not the design." Mr. Zhao shook his head and sighed. "I really love your design. It's just, I've been hearing some rumors saying that your studio, the founder's personal life issues might affect the stability and focus of the project." Personal life issues? I immediately thought of Zhang Ruonan. "Mr. Zhao, I don't quite follow you," I said calmly. "My personal life is very stable. I just got married, and my wife and I are doing great. This absolutely will not affect my professionalism or my work." I know. Mr. Zhao looked a bit awkward, but the person passing the message has a somewhat special status. It came from a specialist doctor at the city hospital. They made it sound very convincing, saying you, are caught in a messy entanglement, and there might be more trouble down the line. In the hotel business, what we fear most is unnecessary drama. A specialist doctor at the city hospital, Zhang Ruonan, she actually stooped this low, using such dirty tricks to sabotage my career. A wave of pure rage flared up inside me, but I knew losing my temper now wouldn't solve anything. "Mr. Zhao," I took a deep breath, my tone sincere. "I don't know what you heard, but I can guarantee you, it's absolutely not true. I have completely cut ties with my past. There is no entanglement. If you're hesitating because of this, I understand. But please give me a chance to prove myself. Our professional skills and dedication to this project are what truly build the foundation for our partnership." Mr. Zhao looked at me, seeming to weigh his options. Right then, my phone rang. It was Li Xia calling. I was going to hang up, but Mr. Zhao motioned for me to answer. I picked up, and Li Xia's crisp voice came through. "Hubby, How's the meeting going? I managed to book that really famous traditional Chinese medicine doctor, the one who specializes in headache. I heard he's amazing at treating migraines. Why don't you ask Mr. Zhao if he wants me to secure the appointment for his wife, just as a little gesture from us? My mind raced. I immediately understood what Li Xia was doing. She must have used some of her connections to find out about the roadblock with Mr. Zhao, immediately thought of his wife's migraines, and took action lightning fast. I put her on speaker and looked at Mr. Zhao. Mr. Zhao, it's my wife. She actually knows a traditional Chinese doctor who's very experienced with migraines. She wanted to ask if you'd like her to book an appointment for your wife. Mr. Zhao froze for a second, then a look of surprise and deep gratitude washed over his face. Really? That, Dr. Chen. It's incredibly hard to get an appointment with him. I tried pulling strings multiple times and still couldn't get in. On the other end of the line, Li Xia smiled. Mr. Zhao, don't worry, I've got it covered. I'll send the appointment details to my husband right now. Wishing Mrs. Zhao a speedy recovery. After hanging up, all the hesitation was wiped from Mr. Zhao's face. He patted my shoulder firmly. Mr. Sang, looks like I had a misunderstanding. You and your wife are both solid people. All right, the contract stays. We'll sign it tomorrow. I trust you guys. Crisis averted. Back in the car, I immediately called Li Xia back. Wifey, thank you, I said from the bottom of my heart. Whenever I need it most, she always steps up, backing me up in the smartest and strongest way possible. No need to be polite with me. Li Xia scoffed, and her tone quickly turned angry. It was definitely that crazy woman Zhang Ruonan pulling strings behind the scenes. She actually dared to play dirty and try to wreck your career. I won't let her get away with this. Don't get mad over someone like her. I tried to calm her down. The contract is secured anyway. That's the best she can do. No way. Li Xia's tone was dead set. She needs to pay the price for what she did. Does she really think we're soft targets? She can just walk all over. Zhang Ruonan soon found out that the Qi Yuan project wasn't ruined like she wanted. Instead, they successfully signed a deal. She was so furious she smashed her mug. Why? Why was everything she did totally useless? Why did Sang Yan always manage to flip the script? Was it just because of that Li Xia? Right when she was consumed by bitter resentment, she got a call from the hospital administration. The tone was deadly serious. Dr. Zhang, please come to the hospital immediately. When she arrived, she realized things were really bad. Inside the director's office, besides the hospital heads, there were two people in uniform. Dr. Zhang Ruonan. One of them started, looking totally serious. We received a real name report, along with relevant evidence. It accuses you of abusing your position during your previous employment to leak confidential patient information and engaging in inappropriate interference with others' business partnerships. Please cooperate with our investigation. Real name report. Evidence. Zhang Ruonan's brain practically exploded. She immediately thought of Li Xia. It had to be her. She tried to defend herself. I didn't. Someone is framing me. The whistleblower provided chat logs and call recordings of you communicating with unidentified parties, attempting to dig up private information on Mr. Zhao from Qi Yuan Hotel and his wife, and hinting that you could use your medical resources to exert influence. The investigator's voice was icy. Furthermore, there is evidence showing that you accessed without permission and leaked non-essential information regarding other patients who were indirectly related to the treatment of Shao Qingqiu's father. In order to satisfy certain personal requests from Shao Qingqiu, Shao Qingqiu, Zhang Ruonan felt her blood run cold. To comfort Shao Qingqiu after her mentor passed away, she did actually, at his request, leak some trivial and seemingly unimportant information about the families of other patients that she absolutely shouldn't have. At the time, she thought it was no big deal, just doing it to calm his emotions. She always thought she was so stealthy about it. But she never expected that all of this was recorded, becoming the very evidence that would crush her now. Based on our preliminary investigation, the whistleblower's claims are essentially true. The hospital directors looked at her with heartbreak and disappointment. Dr. Zhang, you have disappointed us far too much. Your actions seriously violate professional ethics. and hospital regulations. After discussion by the board, we have decided to terminate your employment effectively immediately. As for your suspected illegal activities, they will be further handled by the relevant authorities. Fired and under investigation. Zhang Ruonan stood frozen in place, looking like her soul had been ripped out of her body. Not only did she lose her love, but now the career she valued more than her own life was completely destroyed too. Her reputation was ruined. She didn't know how she walked out of the hospital building. The sunlight was blinding, but everything around her felt like it was spinning. People walking by seemed to be shooting her glances, filled with disgust and mockery. It was over. Everything was over. When Li Xia broke the news to me, we were having tea on the balcony of our new place. She brought it on herself. Li Xia scoffed. All I did was take what she was doing, and the evidence of what she did before, bundled it up, and sent it where it needed to go. Did she really think she was the only one who knew how to play dirty? Watching her puff up with anger, I knew deep down, this was her way of protecting me, getting payback for me. She wasn't like Zhang Ruonan, who only knew how to endure and look at the big picture. She knew exactly who to love and who to hate, never letting a grudge slide. And her methods were precise and ruthless. She probably won't have the energy to bother us anymore. I said, better be that way. Li Xia snuggled into my chest. Hubby, we're going to have an amazing life together, and nobody is going to ruin it. I hugged her tight, looking at the city lights outside the window. As for how Zhang Ruonan ended up, I honestly didn't feel much of anything. She chose her own path, so naturally, she had to face the consequences. Everyone has to take responsibility for their own choices. My life, my future, and my happiness had nothing to do with her anymore. But what I didn't expect was that this whole mess would bring one last unexpected twist. A few days later, Xiao Qingqiu actually showed up at my studio. He looked even more of a wreck than before, with a crazy, reckless look in his eyes. Zhang Yan, it's all your fault. You and that Li Xia ruined everything. The second he saw me, he started yelling frantically. Ruonan. She lost her job. Her reputation is ruined. She's practically losing her mind. Are you happy now? I asked my assistant and colleagues to step out, and looked at him calmly. Xiao Qingqiu, the person who ruined her, is herself, and her own obsession and resentment. If you hadn't constantly used her guilt to tie her down, and if she hadn't blurred the lines herself, how would it have ever gotten to this point? Bullshit. Xiao Qingqiu's eyes were bloodshot. If you hadn't moved on to someone else, how would Ruonan have ended up like this? She was supposed to be mine. Before my dad passed away. Enough. I sharply cut him off. Stop using your father as an excuse. If your father knew you were using his name to stalk and emotionally blackmail a woman who has no romantic feelings for you, and even indirectly destroyed her career and life, do you think he could rest in peace? Xiao Qingqiu, wake up. Zhang Ruonan doesn't love you. She didn't love you then, and she definitely doesn't love you now. Your toxic obsession is destroying both of you. My words were like a sharp knife, puncturing the self-deception he'd been clinging to all along. Xiao Qingqiu stumbled back a step, his face completely pale. His lips trembled, but he couldn't say a single word. Please, leave. I pointed at the door. If you ever harass me, my family, or my work again, I have zero problems taking legal action against you. Xiao Qingqiu glared at me, his eyes filled with pure hatred. But eventually, like a defeated rooster, he slumped his head and stumbled out, completely crushed. Watching his back disappear at the elevator, I knew that the very last bit of drama from the past was finally over. I turned around and looked out at the bright blue sky. Inside the studio, the team was already buzzing with work. New design ideas flashed across the computer screens. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Li Xia. What do you want for dinner tonight? I bought those ribs you love. It was a picture of her in an apron, holding a spatula, smiling super bright at the camera. I replied, I love anything you make. I put my phone down, took a deep breath, and poured all my energy back into the design drafts in front of me. This new life has just begun, and all those shadows from the past will eventually vanish completely in the sunlight.